Welcome to a movie review / discussion / spoiler cast. The second ever that we've done for GameCast. We did one in December for Star Wars The Last Jedi. And another movie has come out that's so big that we thought we might as well discuss it. And that is Avengers Infinity War.
Hot damn.
Hot diggity dang. And, yes, so I'm here with Sully. Hello, Sully.
Hello all.
And today we are going to discuss Infinity War. What we're going to do, I've come up with a small plan for everyone.
A format, if you will.
I won't go that far. That's a bit much.
It's more of a crutch to get us through.
Yeah, that works. We have a general discussion of the MCU, and we've also both recently in our Discord channel, which you should totally join and watch, done a list of both of our top to bottom Marvel movie lists, and then we're going to do our initial spoiler-free thoughts, just a quick sort of what we thought of the film, whether you should go see it, and all that kind of stuff, and then we're going to get deep into the spoilers. And we'll give you an extra warning in case you haven't worked it out by that point.
No apologies will be given past that point.
No, this is going to be, like, if you are watching this and you do not want to be even remotely spoiled, fuck off. Fuck off and watch it and come back, and then you'll be fine.
Although, to be honest, if you're a fan of the movies and you haven't seen it a week after release, I question if you're truly a fan.
I mean, some people may not have the time necessarily.
Perhaps.
And I get that, but at the same time...
Maybe 2 weeks out, maybe.
Yeah, that's why it's like, if it's 2 weeks and you actually go to physically click on something and it gives you a spoiler, then that's your own fault. Once it's left the cinema, you have no excuse. That's my...
No, I agree. Can I just share a real quick messed up fact before we jump into it? I don't know if you noticed, but before we were talking on the server about spoilers being dropped regarding Game of Thrones, etc., etc.
Oh yes, I vaguely noticed that. Yeah.
Poor online etiquette with spoilers and all that crap. And Sarah and Ben were discussing how they go out of their way, they go internet dark to try and avoid spoilers with Game of Thrones. For me, I'm a little bit fucked up. I live on the edge, right? So not only do I venture on the internet, but I'll go onto YouTube.
Slow down there, edgelord.
Yeah. I'll actually go onto YouTube, and I quite often do this with Dragon Ball Super on a weekly basis, actually, and I've done it with Game of Thrones quite a few times as well. And I will type in Game of Thrones or Dragon Ball Super, and I'll see what's recently dropped, and I'll skim through the thumbnails and the titles, and I'll be like reading it through my fingers type things because I can't help myself. That's messed up, isn't it? That's messed up.
A little bit. It's like, I don't want to read it, but I really want to read it.
I'm like, what is this one about? Is this like a discussion thing without spoilers? And I'll like click it. And,
I've done that. I clicked on it was, I think, Movie Bob's ranking of all of the Marvel Universe films. And it had Infinity War. I was like, no, shit! It was like, he put it at number 5. And I was like, even then, I was so not wanting to hear about it that I literally just went, no, shut up!
Damn, what beat it?
Oh, fuck, I can't remember.
Original Avengers,
that's about where
Guardians
it
of the
placed in my
Galaxy.
list.
Yeah? Okay.
Which I'm going to have to scroll up to find. There it is. Yeah, so, anyway, shall we actually get into it now?
Yes.
Let's start then with, let's have a general discussion of the MCU so far then. So this is all films from Iron Man to Infinity War. There's 19 altogether.
Excuse me while
Nothing
I
under
hack along
Fox
up.
counts. The 2 Amazing Spider-Man films don't count.
No.
But I think... Oh, and Fant 4-Stick doesn't count either.
Sorry, what did you call it?
Fant 4-Stick.
Fant 4-Stick.
Because that's how it was written.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were having
put
some...
The second... They put the A as a 4.
Okay, I thought you were having a real weird jab at it then.
Well, you know.
It was shite.
Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, those don't count. So we've got Oh god, I'm going to have to try and remember the order of this now. Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, which a lot of people don't think is in there, but it is. Got Captain America, Iron Man 2, Thor, Avengers, oh fucking hell, Iron Man 3, you know which ones I mean anyway.
Yes. I was going to say, are you reading off a list? Because you're really struggling.
Yeah, I'm trying to semi-read. I'm just trying to remember it. I can't remember the exact order.
Go to your ranking list.
I haven't done it in years. Like, you've done it by year, but I haven't. I'm just trying to do it in order.
Oh,
Anyway,
right. I gotcha.
Anyway, so it started in 2008. It's a decade old. That makes me feel old, because I remember when it came out.
Now, Iron Man... was Iron Man the actual beginning of the MCU? Or was it after Iron Man? Okay, that's the first film that they consider the beginning point, right?
Yes, because it is still part of that universe, and that was
Correct.
the first film in it.
Didn't the Incredible Hulk come before, though?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I think the Hulk came after, and the way we knew that it was a shared universe was because of the post-credit scene where Tony Stark showed up and was like, "Hey, I exist," and we were just like, "Wait,
Yeah, gotcha.
are they starting some sort of cinematic universe?"
And almost nobody cared at that point in time.
Yeah, nobody cared until...
Sick, let's see what happens.
Yeah. I think nobody cared properly until the first Avengers came out.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like there was quite a bit of hype before the first Avengers came out.
Maybe.
I think once we kind of got the first set of standalone movies out of the way, and we saw all those after credit scenes, then the hype started to begin when we started getting the sequels, and you could see it was starting to lead towards the Avengers.
Yeah.
That's for me when the hype started ramping up anyway.
It's very much what Iron Man 2 was. It was, hey, the Avengers is coming!
Yeah, that's a funny movie. That's an odd movie. It kind of...
It's got some watchable bits in it. The thing is, though, as much as we could rag on quite a few of the Marvel films, they're not terrible.
No.
Like, none of them are actually bad films. They are okay at worst.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, yeah.
Iron
Man 2 to me just felt like it had a few good moments, but mostly it was just like hey, the Avengers is coming, go and watch that.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a movie that just had to slide in there somewhere because the other Avengers were getting their standalone movies, and obviously Tony went first, Iron Man went first, and a bit of time passed, and they wanted to kind of get the character back in there again before, launching into the Avengers film, because it would have been like Iron Man 1, then the other guys got theirs. And I just felt like a massive like kind of chunk of time went past between Iron Man 1 and getting our last standalone of the original Avengers. I can't remember what the last one was. It might have been Thor or something like that.
4 years between Iron Man 1 and the first Avengers film. But, I mean, at the same time, Iron Man 2 just felt like, hey, here's some quick world building to get you prepared for the Avengers, and that's not the best way to design a film. Yeah. In my mind.
They did an alright job, though. They got there. I think they did an alright job. In comparison to other cinematic universes, they did an amazing job.
Oh, yeah. Like, this cinematic universe as a whole is just unparalleled.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you're a fan of and not a fan of. No one has done anything on this scale and had it so successful before.
No, absolutely not. Even the beginning, like, I would barely call it Rocky. Like, I think they executed fairly well. And when you look at it now, like, holy crap. Like, wow, I mean, that's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, looking back, though, I think a lot of the Phase 1 films, they fell down the list to me quite quickly. Like,
yeah, same.
As a mixed bag Phase 1 when you look back at it.
Yeah. They're the serviceable movies on the list.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of that, let's go into our rankings.
Ooh.
Yes. We both the other day in our Discord ranked all 19 of the Marvel films. And Sully, why don't you go first from worst to best?
Luckily, I just found my list. I was not ready. All right, number one.
Found it.
Number one for Sully, Guardians of the Galaxy, the original.
Okay, worst to best.
Worst to best. Well, I've just spoiled the bloody best.
I know you have, but...
Worst,
you know.
Incredible Hulk, which was 2008, by the way. So that's the same year as Iron Man.
Yes.
Next is Thor, Iron Man 2. Here's a controversial one, Black Panther.
Yeah, that's a controversial one.
Yeah, did not enjoy that film. We can talk about it if you want, but did not enjoy. Thor Dark World, Ant-Man, another controversial one. Captain America, the First Avenger. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And these aren't bad films. We're at the kind of middle point of the list now. These are kind of the films that, when we talk about films just kind of getting nudged out of that top 10, these are the guys that just missed out. Spider-Man Homecoming at number 11. Iron Man 3 at number 10. The original Iron Man. Avengers Age of Ultron at number 8.
I feel like we're doing the Top of the Pops theme now.
The top of the what, sorry?
Oh, you don't have Top of the Pops, do you?
I don't know what that is. No, that's straight over my head.
It used to be a show in the UK and it was just like really cheesy. Hey, this is the popular music at the moment.
Oh, like a top 25 and they'd actually read it out?
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, to carry on and to quickly round off the last 7, Doctor Strange, Captain America Civil War. I really enjoyed that movie.
I watched that yesterday. Actually, it's still
really
pretty damn good.
It's really good. I can't. That's another one that I feel like could easily be like these top 5 are like really neck and neck. It's hard to separate them. But into the top 5, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Avengers: Infinity War at number 4. Number 3 is Thor Ragnarok. Number 2, the original Avengers, and of course my number 1 favorite because it was just such a breath of fresh air to the universe and huge set change and location change, the original Guardians of the Galaxy. That movie has got swagger.
It does. It really does. I think, while I agree with you on quite a lot of your points, I think a couple of changes in opinion on a couple of these dragged a couple down the list for me. But
can I just quickly make one little edit? Because I think I might have...
No, it's a final list. You're not allowed to change it ever.
I think I might have cocked something up. I was going to say,
no.
I'm pretty sure I tweaked it to have Iron Man go from number 9 to number 8 and basically just swap Avengers Age of Ultron, those two in and out. So.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
Carry on with your list.
So, my list. I got number 19, we got Iron Man 2. I think it's just a mess. The plot's just, a lead up to another film, which isn't a good idea. Then we've got Thor the Dark World. Not very good. Just, that was when they were going through their emo grimdark phase and it just didn't work. Incredible Hulk. It's fine. It's a bit underrated in some respects, but, it could be better. The original Thor, I think the same again. Iron Man 3, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed the PTSD aspect of that film. I thought that was fun.
It's got some good elements to it. But yeah, I think it could be better. Anyway. Avengers Age of Ultron, it certainly wasn't as good as the first. The ending was a bit, I don't know.
The whole movie was a bit right?
Yeah. I think it had the problem of having to try and live up to the first one, which just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Anyway, number 13, we've got Ant-Man. I enjoyed that about as much as you. It's a perfectly serviceable film. 12, we've got Doctor Strange. I didn't enjoy that anywhere near as much as you, apparently.
I quite enjoyed that. I thought it was fun.
Certainly got good parts to it. At this point, we're going sort of, these are still good films.
Yeah. Good fun films. I just really enjoy Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he really pulled that film through for me.
Oh yeah, he's definitely good. Number 11, Captain America, First Avenger. Number 10, Iron Man. And we've got Spider-Man Homecoming, Captain America Civil War, Guardians 2, Black Panther, which I enjoyed a lot more than you. We've got Infinity War, both the same number here. No, nearly the same number. It's at number 5 for me. Thor Ragnarok at 4, Captain America Winter Soldier at 3. I fucking love that film. It's just amazing. And then we've both got the same top 2. Avengers number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy at number 1. I think,
Boom.
But yes, funnily, we're both different people, so we can have different opinions on things. Oh!
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
so
I actually
that's
do
how
need to
that works.
rewatch The Winter Soldier because I feel like this list is going to be an ever evolving thing.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
As the universe ages, like we've said, like the original films do kind of sit lower, not because they're bad films, but the quality
Because
is
better films have come out.
just the scale's gone up. Everything's gone up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, though, Spider-Man: Homecoming actually sits kind of low for both of us.
I'm surprised how low it sits because of how much I enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing is with this list, though, the top 10 to me are all very sort of like close in quality.
Yep, it's hard to split. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like for me, the top 2 are definitely standouts, but everything from 3 to maybe like 10 or 11 is just like a sort of a big mix of, hey, this is actually a really close, and to be honest, my opinion could probably change at any point.
Yeah, no, very similar. For me, actually, the top kind of 5 to 6 were a piece of cake, and the bottom few were a piece of cake. But everything in the middle, to me, you could just swap them in and out, and there'd be no difference, almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for Ant-Man. I really did not enjoy Ant-Man, which sits at number
Ant-Man
14
is
for me.
fine. It suffered from Edgar Wright quitting halfway through.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm
And
not going to knock it too much.
Meant it felt a bit more messy than it could have done. But
Yeah, I just found it a little bit bland. I feel like Ant-Man, though, was kind of that stepping stone into that kind of big tone shift they had between kind of, Thor 2 being very dark, and they tried...
Oh, yeah.
They changed into kind of the more... the humour and gags and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ant-Man was that stepping stone. But I don't really like
Definitely.
Paul Rudd either. So Paul Rudd is a big just for me. Yeah, he just
I
doesn't...
don't like Paul Rudd.
Max and I were talking about this the other day. We don't think it's the character or necessarily the film overall. Like, it's an okay, enjoyable film, but it's Paul Rudd. Just doesn't resonate with me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, good set of films. So, let's move on to the main topic of the show. I haven't actually changed the scene to a slideshow of Infinity War stuff, so I'm just doing that.
You have failed us.
Yes, I did. Anyway, so, actually, it's about right, because we're just moving on to the topic of the show. So, there we go. So, anyway, yes. Your initial thoughts of the movie without spoiling anything. Just a general overall opinion of the film.
In one word?
If you like.
Yeah, in one word, a roller coaster.
That's 2 words.
Okay, roller coaster.
That's better.
So
Okay.
by that I mean extremely enjoyable, because you could hate roller coasters, but yeah, very, very, very enjoyable. A fantastic, entertaining flick. And my overall kind of opinion on it is probably more, I'm amazed at how they executed on what we knew was coming. And by that I mean so many damn characters being in the one film.
Yeah.
I thought they handled all their characters very well throughout the film. And the way they
I completely agree,
yeah, the way they comboed certain characters up with other characters that you don't think would be peanut butter and jelly, it just works. Just works.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I completely agree with what you're saying there. I think they had the biggest juggling act to try and do. And they managed to pull it off. I'm really surprised at how well they managed to do it.
Kudos to the brothers. What were their name? The brothers, the directors.
The Russo brothers.
Russo.
Yes.
They did Civil War as well, correct?
And Winter Soldier, yeah.
Yeah. And
it was those 2 films that made people like Kevin Feige go, right, you are the ones to take over.
And Civil War, you could see how well they handled. Like, Civil War obviously didn't have anywhere near as many characters, but that still had a lot of main characters, and they executed that extremely well.
Oh, yeah, so that's definitely proof enough that they can handle just a few extra characters.
Definitely.
Like, they gave everyone... Because I watched Civil War again yesterday, and I still enjoyed it, and they gave all of the characters exactly the amount of screen time that they all needed, and they were all executed really well.
Yeah.
Like for what you expect from them. So yeah, really, really, really well done in Civil War. Really well done here.
Did it?
My initial thoughts are, I really enjoyed it. If you heard the rankings on our list, it's both of us is in our top 5. You need to go and see it. If you haven't seen it already, go and see it. It was so good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, fantastic. It absolutely met my expectations and hype. I mean, I don't generally get overly hyped for Marvel movies anymore. Once upon a time,
because there's so many of them.
There's just so many, and they're so frequent. I just kind of
go in.
There's
only 2 between now and the next Avengers film.
Oh wow! Because there's 3 a year.
Ant-Man and the Wasp next month.
Yep.
And in March next year there is Captain Marvel, which is set in the 90s.
Yeah, not excited for either of those two, but yeah. See,
well, you don't like Paul Rudd, so I can imagine you're not being excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm excited for Captain Marvel because it's a very underutilized character in my mind.
I think that's why I'm not excited. I know nothing about her whatsoever. So, but that's probably good. I'm going in with kind of a good mindset. Like I'm going to go see
blind.
it.
You know how the expectations.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a quick question for you though. Sorry.
Okay, go for it.
Regarding, we've spoken about how many characters are in this film. Do you think, even though we think they handled it, in our opinions, extremely well, the amount of characters they had in this film, do you still think it detracts from the film? Like, do you think like a film like, just say, Guardians of the Galaxy, or a movie with less cast and it being more manageable just equals a tighter package that's more enjoyable?
In some respects, yes, but at the same time, I think the characters that needed character moments in this film got them, because a lot of these characters, they didn't need a character moment in this. It's like
they're
Falcon.
Established characters, yeah.
Exactly, like Falcon or whatever. He did not need a character moment in this film, and he didn't get one because he didn't need it. So I think they did a pretty good job of giving the people who needed a character moment that moment, whilst everyone else, they were still there and they were still doing things and they still felt like they needed to be there in a sense. But they weren't forced to have some sort of revelation about themselves.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
But we're getting very close to spoilers now, so this is your final warning. There are going to be spoilers for this film. Turn off
Hugh
now.
Jackman and Wolverine make an appearance. Oh, whoops. No.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Right?
I would love that.
It
just
was
seeing Wolverine
amazing.
just stab Thanos in the head. Oh, that would have been fucking wonderful.
Oh, or just tells them to fuck off. That'd be great.
No, give it like 5 years when the Fox Disney deal goes through, and that might happen.
Yeah, when he's 60. Yeah, great.
Yeah, but to be fair, Hugh Jackman is pretty damn good for looking pretty damn good for however old he is.
I think he's 50, I think.
He is
49.
Yeah, fucking hell.
50?
He does not look 49.
49. Yeah, that dude is holding his age. But you know what happens with dudes that kind of hold their age? They kind of get to this point where you're like, damn, they're looking pretty good. And then you look at them 5 years later and it just catches up real quick. So,
yeah. Like Arnie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Arnie just dropped off a cliff.
Look at him in Terminator 3, Salvation. And then kind of, it happens in the space of 10 years. He went from being, you pull it off, you can still do Terminator, to hot damn, you are melting.
To be fair though, Arnold Schwarzenegger is in his 70s now.
He is now, yeah.
And to be honest, I think for someone in their 70s, he's doing pretty damn good.
He's doing all right. He's had a lot of work done. Him and Stallone, they're in and out of those clinics all the time.
You'd think Stallone would have something done to make him actually be able to talk properly, but apparently not.
Do you know what that actually is? Do you know he actually suffered an injury. I can't remember what it was to his lip
yeah, there was
or
a
face
reason,
or
wasn't
something.
there?
Yeah, he's got a bit of a numb face or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about
Yes.
spoilers.
Fuck all to do with Avengers, even though I gave the spoiler warning. Right. Oh my god, so many people died.
You just came right out and said it. Right out and said it. Pull the band-aid off.
I gave the warning.
You know what's funny, right? Is that before I went into this movie, a lot of people at work were speculating, going, who's going to die? Like, who do you think's going to die? Like, just one person was going to die. And no, there was a lottery and a lot of people died.
I think it's literally half of the entire main protagonist cast of the film.
All of the Guardians of the Galaxy crew died except Rocket.
Poor Rocket.
Yeah, sees Groot die again.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, at least he didn't get
man.
exploded this time. Also, we have a comment. Deadpool shows up in Avengers Force, stabs Thanos with his sword, looks at the audience, says, "Hey everyone, Disney Fox still went through. I'm in the MCU now."
Did you hear about the letter? I haven't read up on this yet. I just caught a glimpse of it. Some letter that Ryan Reynolds sent Robert Downey Jr. And it was like an application to join the Avengers or something like that. But he sent it as Deadpool.
Brilliant.
Oh man, the promotional gags are so good.
I do like Ryan Reynolds. He really just sort of...
Oh, dude, he crushes it.
He gets in the character so well.
Yeah, I'm so keen for Deadpool.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, it's...
Have you found it?
It's a response from...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just... Regarding joining the Avengers, no, absolutely not. Go bother Professor X. Wonderful. I'm looking forward to Deadpool 2. That's coming out in like a few weeks.
Yeah, late May?
Late May, yes.
Yeah,
I am
killer.
very much looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
The first one was very good, and this one's looks like it's got slightly larger scope, and it's got Rob Delaney in as Pete. Some random fuckwit.
Nice. I hope
literally what he is.
I hope we do get some more X-Men in that next film, though. Just a few. It doesn't have to be A grade, just a couple.
Yeah, that'd be good. We've got Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead again. They're both back. Domino, whose power is that she's incredibly lucky. And a couple of others who I can't remember. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, so yeah, the death that got me the most because of the way it happened was Spider-Man, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
That was fucking tragic.
Yeah, because he's kind of the innocent kid that's just kind of
He's
keen to get into the mix.
He's a little baby.
Yeah, he's just keen to get into the mix. He just wants to kind of earn everybody's kind of approval, and then at the last second it goes belly up, and he starts to have this realization that shit, this is for keeps, and he has like...
He's just like, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. And I was just like, no, not you as well.
He has the full-on panic attack.
I don't want to go, and I'm sorry. And I'm like, no,
yeah.
Peter.
A lot of people are theorizing that he won't come back in the same capacity or as the same actor.
He's got to, because Tom Holland's signed on for more films.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought. But apparently, like, it's a
lot
very
of people
common
are
thing in the
suggesting
comics.
that Homecoming 2 will now be about Miles Morales, which is the African-American Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've heard as well.
Like, he's already confirmed to basically exist in this universe, the character, so... that might be good.
But
at the same time, I don't want Peter Parker to go just yet, because he's
just
really
arrived. Well. Yeah, exactly. I agree. He's quite hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, we lose essentially what it boils down to for the second Infinity War is the original Avengers cast.
That's all that's left. Yeah.
Yeah. That intentionally,
like Black Widow,
obviously,
we've got Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Hawkeye, and is that it?
Yeah,
Iron Man, and Thor.
Yeah, and then plus Rocket as well. So
and Rocket, yeah. Nebula's still alive as well.
Yeah, she's still alive. She's the only one left with Stark on wherever the hell they were in outer space. Titan. Yeah. So that's another thing I thought they handled really well in this movie as well, was the constant change in location. They bounce back and forth between Earth and space really well. I thought they handled that really well.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
they could have done this so many different ways. A lot of them good, a lot of them bad, but they nailed the setting, I think.
yeah. I just always envisioned that it would be too hard to handle this many characters and not have them in the one place. I don't know, maybe that's silly, but the fact that they had this many characters and they were jumping between Earth and space so many different times, they just nailed it. And I've seen lots of movies where they chop around with a fraction of the cast. Rogue One, perfect example. The start of that film, they are fucking all over the place. We have
it's a bit choppy, isn't it? Yeah.
There's like 7 different planets in the first 20 minutes. You're like, I'm lost. I'm done.
Yeah, I think what they did that worked. They split a very large cast up into 3 more manageable groups, and they gave each of those 3 groups enough time per scene to actually make sense.
Yeah, I agree.
They managed that. That's how they managed that. So it's because they gave all of the groups enough time. And
that's what I wanted to touch on earlier. Like when I spoke about them kind of lumping certain characters together, that just really worked really well. Characters that you just know. You look at on paper, and you're like, that's just going to be a fucked up situation. Like putting Thor on the ship in this movie with the Guardians crew, and then having Tony Stark catch up with Star-Lord and Drax, and the conversations they're having.
What I find funny though is just that whenever the Guardians talk, Tony just he's just standing there looking confused, just like, what? Who the fuck are these people?
Because you know the Guardians crew, like they will just enter this realm of just backward and forward banter and arguing, and you can imagine Tony like, exactly like, what the fuck are you doing? You know.
Yeah, like
it's hilarious.
when Mantis says, "Tell him about the dance-off for the fate of the universe," and he just looks so confused.
And Drax is like, "Yeah, tell him,
what
tell him, Quill.
What the fuck are you guys on about? What are you saying? What is this?" And it works.
Yeah, and someone references, I think it was Spider-Man references Footloose.
Yeah,
that's such a good line.
It's like, is it still the greatest film ever? It never was.
Oh, so good. The lines, man, so good.
Yeah,
and also
they
the gags, nail them every time. Yeah. But that one particular scene, I think one of the scenes for me was I actually thought that Pratt actually looked a little bit kind of thicker than he would usually look for Star-Lord. And they just go straight for it in the movie. Like Drax is like, "You're one sandwich off like being fat." I was like, he's like, "I'm gonna commit, man. I'm gonna get a bow flex. That's it. I'm done."
Maybe nice with Gamora. He's letting himself go a little bit.
Yeah. Well, maybe every boyfriend gets lazy.
Yeah. I think I just genuinely thought that they got the tone perfect on this.
Yeah.
But let's give a quick synopsis for everyone, just a quick sort of rundown.
Footloose, greatest movie. Sorry, I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah. It's not, but okay.
Was that a Kevin Bacon film? Was Kevin Bacon in that film?
It is Kevin Bacon, yes.
It is, right. Okay, just trying to get my facts straight.
I'm also sick of seeing Kevin Bacon on EE adverts, which is a mobile network over here.
Oh, I'd never see him.
He's on them all the time and it's a pain in the ass. Anyway, right, general synopsis. Thanos is searching for the Infinity Stones after trying to delegate it for however many years and it not going very well. He's found the Power Stone. He raided Xandar, destroyed it off screen. Great. Thanks for doing that off screen. I'd have liked to at least see in the aftermath of that. That'd have been nice. He's got the Power Stone. He then gets the Space Stone and kills Loki in the process. Loki is dead probably by the looks of it.
Yeah, he looks dead. All the other characters we suspect will be back in the same capacity, but Loki looks dead.
He's had a lot of fake out deaths, but he looks dead in that respect. So he might stay dead because I think what I think they're going to do in Avengers 4 won't fix that.
Nope.
Anyway, then he's basically just running around getting the Infinity Stones. There's a fight revolved around each of them, and each time the people protecting the stone lose, and he gets the stone. That's basically how this works.
Yeah.
He wrecks house everywhere he goes, and yeah. it's good. And at the end of the film, he gets his wish, and half the universe, poof, dead, click of his fingers. And
shall we touch on his kind of motivations? Like,
yes, let's. His motivations are weird. Let's put it like that.
yeah, but refreshing at the same time for a villain. I feel like they handled him very well.
They've handled him very well because it's a motivation that is both believable. Like, it's a sort of, he thinks he's doing the right thing even though he's not, and because of his twisted way of thinking, he might not think of the fact that there are better ways to do this.
Yeah, it's like a huge fork in the road in terms of like morality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's seen his own planet die because its population got too large and they couldn't sustain themselves. He came up with the idea of killing half of everyone just completely at random. And yeah, completely random, no sort of bias at all, and it was just sort of like, no, can't do that, that's horrible. And the planet ended up dying.
Yeah, that's the interesting point. He was right, so...
Yeah, in this instance, he was right, so he believes that he needs to do this to the whole universe, otherwise that's going to happen, everything's going to happen the same way it happens on his planet, because the universe is finite and so are its resources.
Yeah, so he thinks a universe-wide cull will at least slow it down or restore balance.
Much.
It's interesting, though, because he has been doing it on a planet-by-planet basis leading up to this, because he did...
Yeah.
When he originally found Gamora on her planet, the planet was, like, suffering the same situation his planet was suffering, and he ended up killing half the population, obviously adopted Gamora at that point in time as well, and that planet stabilized and is now thriving, apparently.
Yeah, according to him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of people have been complaining about this, going, oh, but he couldn't he just use the Infinity Gauntlet to make more resources, because that's, it's an all-powerful thing, it can do that. And while they're correct, the way I look at it is that he's got this idea in his head because he saw that as a solution on his planet, and when it got ignored, it failed. So his mind has then just got that in it now, and he can't think of another way to do this.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure there's kind of plot holes regarding the Gauntlet and what it can and can't do, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of reason why he can't just gift the universe the resources they need with the Gauntlet. Perhaps the Gauntlet has limitations.
I'm sure there is, but at the same time, I kind of feel like
you can't create nothing from kind of nothing. You can't.
Well, you can because it's an all thing.
Well then.
But I feel like his mind hasn't thought of that.
Yeah,
because he's got this one idea in his head, and he's like, yes, I can do this. And I also think that a lot of the people who look at the Infinity Gauntlet, him included, they don't see it as a thing that can do anything. They see it more as an all-powerful weapon. Which is maybe why he hasn't possibly thought of the fact that he could do it.
Yeah, maybe he's just stuck on that track of thought, right?
Yeah, that's the way
he obviously probably has a complex regarding power and his position in the universe as well. So maybe this is how he kind of wants to position himself as being kind of the dictator, right? So maybe his intentions, kind of from a very twisted point of view seem, like he's doing the right thing to save the universe. He's still seeking power.
Yeah, definitely. So, a lot of people have punched holes in, like, his motivation and his methodology, but I think within the scope of that character, it works.
Well, argue too has a fair point that he probably hasn't quite thought it all through, because Thor did stab him in the chest with an axe, so...
Oh, yeah.
He's just kind of strolling through places, trying to have his way, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, To be fair, that was a pretty cool axe stabbing.
Oh yeah, that was brutal. All in all though, I really find him refreshing as a villain. Though it's nice that it's not just I want power, I want to be a badass, I want to be a dictator, I just want to eradicate this, and that for whatever stupid reason.
Yeah, he's actually got motivation that's
reasons.
Something.
Yeah, and he can back it up with past events. So that's interesting. And Josh Brolin absolutely nails Thanos as well. He just crushes that.
Oh, he does, yeah.
But it's interesting the way
he's characterized better than
a
lot of villains, even in just normal like action films in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
He nails the character of Thanos. He nails the motivations, and yeah, he really gets it correct to me.
Yeah, and what was also refreshing was seeing this big bad villain interacting with our heroes. Doesn't have any hate towards them or malice. He's just doing what he thinks he has to do, and he's not
and he's
being
like,
cruel or anything like that.
I don't necessarily want to kill them, but
exactly.
I have to because they're getting in my way.
Yeah, exactly. So I found I'm thoroughly impressed with how they handled him. Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. My favourite part of the way they handled Thanos was that his relationship with Gamora.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly the scene when he's getting the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
And she realises that he actually loves her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the way they handled that, and he was actually crying while he was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They handled that. That was spot on.
Yeah, that was the snap moment where you realised he had a heart, right? Like, he truly did have a heart, because earlier in the movie, we saw him torturing the other sister. But, you know,
to be fair, he doesn't like Nebula, because Nebula keeps trying to kill him.
Yeah,
I think that's fair enough.
That's a fair point. But yeah, that scene with Gamora where he gets that last... Was it the last stone? Second to last stone.
Second to last.
The Soul Stone, wasn't it?
Vision
so had to sacrifice a soul to get a soul. So he throws her into the Soul Stone pit. And that whole scene was just like, wow.
A lot of people have pointed out, and I kind of agree, that Gamora is trapped in the Soul Stone.
Oh, interesting.
Because do you remember when he actually does it, and he's clicked and everything?
Yeah.
He then has a vision with the young Gamora.
Yeah, interesting.
So a lot of people are then thinking that Gamora might not be dead, as opposed to Loki, because she might be trapped in the Soul Stone.
Well, it may not be her, but it might be her, or it could just be her, like, kind of essence, right? But even if it is her, like, how do you bring that character back? Outside of the Gauntlet's powers.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There are many, like, ways of thinking. I think most of these things will involve either the Gauntlet or specifically things like the Time Stone.
Now, do you think she'll actually come back?
The thing is, they're making Guardians 3.
Yeah.
And I don't think the tone will be right if we're having Quill mourning.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought as well. How do you kind of get around that? I mean, this dude at this point in time has now literally lost everything. He killed his dad in the previous movie. His mum died to cancer. No, sorry, I think his mum died to cancer, but his father let her die to cancer, right?
Well, his father put the tumour in her head.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Killed her, basically.
So his home life is absolutely fucked. So yeah, I don't know where he goes in the next film, unless maybe it's kind of a search for Gamora, search for Spock.
Maybe. That's a good idea.
However, the kind of, I know, like, the comics get referenced all the time. I actually haven't read the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. I haven't read a lot of the comics, actually. I've touched on all of them. But apparently in the Guardians of the Galaxy comics, it's not unusual for new characters to come in and circulate around Quill
it's much like the Avengers. They are not a static team of people.
Exactly. So I'm wondering whether that's going to translate into the cinematic universe as well. Because it's happening in the Avengers cinematic universe.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, once... My honest opinion is the next film will end up with either a few, or all of the original Avengers sacrificing themselves so that the other ones come back to life. The new ones. ones.
Yeah, that makes sense because the original cast is all that's left. So you'd think there's going to be a big sacrifice that kind of saves the day.
Old, and most of their contracts are up.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I'm blanking on Captain America. Chris Evans. He's got one movie left.
The next film is his last contracted one.
Yep. I think Robert Downey Jr. has a very unique contract in comparison to the others because he was the first that signed on before the cinematic.
Was just he's just like, if you pay me, I'll be in a film.
Yeah, pretty much. So I think he could almost stay as long as he wants to stay, and I think they'd let him.
I think after the next one, he's gonna take a back seat if he's not dead.
I think Iron Man will take a back seat. I don't think they're going to necessarily replace him. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the original cast has been around for a lot of movies now and, going on a decade. I mean, in terms of more mileage, I think there's plenty of mileage in all of them except Robert Downey Jr., who's getting quite old now.
He's in his mid-50s?
Yeah, easily, I think. Maybe early 50s.
53, actually.
Yeah, there you go. So he's getting on. And, give him 2 more movies, he'll be, pushing 60. So he's basically out of time, yeah. But I think you're right. I think we're going to see that kind of throw it all on the line. They'll save the day. We'll lose a lot of the original cast. And they'll take a backseat for the next set.
Apparently, Robert Downey Jr. signed a new contract after Iron Man 3. All the other actors can sign new contracts, but it doesn't necessarily get announced. So Chris Evans might be on for a few more, but we don't know.
Last time I heard he wanted out.
But he said that so many times.
Yeah, I think it's not because he's not...
Do you remember, I think it was after Winter Soldier, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to quit acting." Not happened, is it?
Well, I think he wants to get into directing or something. I think that's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I do get it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's done.
Well, when they're waving that much money at you, is it ever really done?
If he says he's done, I'm not necessarily going to buy it.
No, I wouldn't necessarily buy it either. But I mean, a point in time will come, and it looks like the story's leading that way anyway. And it has to. I mean, we can't just keep having the same cast. It's going to get stale. It has to eventually come to an end, right? In some way, shape, or form. Yeah,
definitely.
What's going to be interesting, though, is where... we're getting a little bit kind of outside of the movie's realms now, but where does the universe go beyond Thanos?
It's fine. I had this written down on the list of things we could say.
Ooh.
It's within our remit of this show.
Hallelujah. The crutch to the rescue. How do we up it? How do you go further? Or do they bring it all back to basics?
The problem with movies is, a lot of the time with franchises, Transformers cough.
Yeah.
They feel like they need to one up every single film. You don't.
Yeah.
There's not a requirement to be continuously one-upping yourself.
No, I mean...
The thing is, the comics have been going for so many years, there's so many things you could introduce.
Yeah.
Like the Eternals, you could expand on the Watchers, maybe. There's so many little Marvel characters, so many smaller things that you could just add. Because that's what they did with a lot of these things. They took smaller properties and went, hey, look at these things that you don't know that are now cool.
Yeah, and are you, in the comments, brought up an interesting point that, they will eventually be able to roll in, more than likely, the X-Men villains and X-Men and all that stuff as well.
Yeah.
But like the
She-Hulk, maybe?
Yeah. But it's
I love a She-Hulk film.
I'd go that.
I can't remember her name because I'm an idiot, but the character of She-Hulk is fucking amazing.
I get what you're saying in terms of individual films, right? As long as the quality's there and it's entertaining, I'm all for that. But these films have...
do you mean in a grand scheme?
Yeah, these movies have, for the better part of a decade now, been leading to this one point. And Thanos and his plot, the scale is so
you
huge.
Think there should be another point?
Well, I think there should be a convergent point, right, where it climaxes. The entire next set of phases need to have another big thread to pull those movies along, right? This is where we're going. This is the roadmap. Something to... People want to watch every single fucking one because they know that's happening at the end, right?
I know what you mean.
It's going to be interesting. I feel like it's going to boil back down to basics.
What might be interesting is doing some alternative universe stories.
Yeah.
Because there's things like, I mean, to pluck an example out of the air, there's a stupid one, Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
At
this point, I'd be cool with anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's interesting you mention like other realities though. By the way, our comments, right? He's also saying Red Skull's back, so that's an interesting plot point that happened in the movie as well, which I have no idea
not played
why.
by Hugo Weaving that I first thought was played by someone else.
Right, but it sounded like him.
It's a really good impression.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I was like, holy shit, they got Hugo Weaving to do it, and then they got someone else to do it.
I have no clue where that plot point's going, if it's going anywhere at all.
It might go somewhere, it might not, but either way, I was just happy to see it more than anything.
Yeah. Something interesting I actually want to dart back into the movie about as well is if you remember Doctor Strange, you remember how he scans all the other realities?
Yes, 14 million.
Yeah, and he, when he ends up giving the stone to Thanos, he tells Stark, I had no choice. It's the only way. Right? And then they all still die. So, holy shit. Like, obviously, he saw that and he still let it happen. So, I thought that was kind of interesting as well, as to he's seen, like, beyond all of this. So,
yeah,
that's interesting.
So, I think it's quite clear in this instance that this is the scenario that they win. But at the same time, that scenario required Thanos
a lot of sacrifice.
Winning, in quotation marks.
And potentially permanent sacrifice as well. You never know. I'm assuming we'll find out about that in the next movie. Pretty early on as to what he saw. As well, didn't Robert Downey Jr. have... I don't know what I'm calling it that. Stark have a vision or a recurring dream regarding the end? Or am I confusing another villain? Maybe I'm confusing Ultron. Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was Thanos or something.
I don't think so. I think that was
okay.
Just his motivation to make Ultron in that film because of what Scarlet Witch did.
Yeah, he was having kind of PTSD from going through the black hole and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
So, can I talk about the final battle in Wakanda?
Yep, go for it.
Bit of a mess.
Wakanda. Yeah. Didn't feel it?
The issue... There is good... Like, when there's characters separated out, like actual named characters separated out doing a thing, that works.
Mm.
But, like, just as a whole, it's just a load of, like, basically faceless, nameless, grey monsters attacking an army.
Yeah, and they even joke about that, right, as well?
A little bit, but at the same time, it's not that interesting.
No, it would have been nice if they were actually fighting people with faces or something, like an actual army.
Exactly.
Something. I don't know, something.
Someone put forward the idea of having it being loads of members of races that Thanos had conquered.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
But at the same time, I get that would maybe have been a bit annoying to put together.
To animate. Yeah, it's obvious why they do it. Like, they're saving budget, right? Like, it's easy to animate one thing.
I mean, this film was ridiculously expensive to make in the first place.
Yeah, you think they'd pull out all the stops, though.
The budget was $320 million.
Yeah, why not some giant trolls in there or something, though, as well, you know?
Yeah. But
mix it up a bit. Game of Thrones does it.
When the main group of the Avengers got separated out from the rest of that boring army and they were all fighting Thanos, that was interesting.
I agree.
And they had the Black Widow and what's her face, the Scarlet Witch fighting against the Black Order lady.
Oh yeah, the kind of chick scene.
It's not Ebony Moore, is it? It's a different one. I can't remember.
Did you like the location?
Proxima Midnight, that's her name.
Yeah. Now that was a cool scene. I dig that. I like that. You're okay with the setting though, like Wakanda? I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. I think overall, like that battle has its good bits.
Doesn't stack up against the original Avengers New York scene though, does it?
No. It didn't, because there were less people. people, not soldier people involved. It felt like there were less stakes, even though technically there wasn't.
I thought Black Panther, considering we're on his home turf, didn't get a lot of screen time in Wakanda and in that scene specifically either. I mean, I know he just had his whole movie, but I thought he'd get a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know if there's much on that scale that he could do. It's a bit like Captain America.
He knows, Captain America and the crew know what they're doing, so he was just kind of...
Yeah, there are limitations as to what those characters can be a part of.
That's fair.
But yeah, I quite liked the bit where Thanos just brought Vision back to life and then just took the stone out of his head.
Yeah, that was ruthless, right?
Welp.
Yeah.
All of that for nothing. She just killed him for no reason.
Yeah, that was ruthless.
But yeah, what I quite liked was that he hit the ground, he turned grey. Like all the colour left him. Someone else suggested that they could bring him back. Like, there has been an instance in the comics where he came back grey, and it was like...
That's boring.
He couldn't remember anything. Like, it was a blank slate.
You know what I think would be more interesting, plot point-wise, for Vision? Obviously, he's lost the stone, and if this... You know how they said if they remove the stone correctly, that...
Like, there's still bits of...
It would all compensate...
Loads of other elements in there that aren't the stone, so he could still be in
like... Kind of when you take a bullet to the brain or something, you rewire, you come back. What I thought would be interesting is if the dominant part or personality in there came back. So, because Ultron's in there, right?
Yeah, but it's like the way they've characterized it. There's elements of everything, and it's all a sort of combination of everything that creates Vision.
Yeah, so I don't know whether... Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, Ultron could come back in its entirety, but maybe enough Ultron would be in the mix to skew him in a negative way, maybe, or something.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. You know, you take a lot of good out and you got a bit of bad in there. Yeah, it's interesting. Just back to the kind of action scene, though, in the battle. What I find myself enjoying more from these movies is like kind of the one-on-one scenes you get. And there's a lot of cool one-on-one scenes. But specifically, I think the kind of icing on the cake for me was watching Iron Man fight on Titan against Thanos. Like when he's clamping his feet into the ground and like ripping out those hammers and stuff.
That was a really good scene.
Yeah, it was... The choreography on Iron Man was fantastic. Like he just knew what he was doing to try and dismantle Thanos. I thought it was really sick.
Yeah, and Thanos just sort of slowly dismantled the suit, which was really good.
I just love those Iron Man scenes where he's just like...
Yeah, that was a really good scene,
the
actually.
suit's just being
I put in
shagged.
the notes, like, they didn't use... The Russos are really good at doing sort of hand-to-hand combat scenes really well, and they underused it, but maybe in that scene particularly...
They nailed it, yeah. And we've seen it in other movies with Iron Man as well. Like, he's just... And it's something to do with Tony Stark, the way he creatively works around the limitations of his suit falling apart, I find really cool.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I found like the end bit where it's like just slowly, because it's obviously a limited amount of nanites in that chest piece, they're just slowly less and less.
Yeah.
Like his leg gets exposed, and then they can't make his helmet anymore.
Yeah.
And it just did that so well.
Yeah, really cool. Because I wasn't enjoying that suit until that scene.
Yeah, I don't like the design. It's too smooth.
Too sleek. It doesn't look kind of bulky. He looks like he's wearing a bit of spandex or something.
I get that it's sort of a progression from him having to be extracted from it, like Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be.
I enjoy the clunky limitations of Iron Man, though. I think that's kind of what makes it cool.
Yeah, like, it doesn't have to be all sleek and perfect. Like, yeah, there are... It's...
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe the design just could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind the nanites, because it's like, there's that, or there's a particular suit in the comics called the Bleeding Edge suit, and it's in his skin.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, a bit weird. But it's quite a cool thing. Like, it's a good design. So,
do you reckon Spider-Man's suit's made of something similar? Or do you reckon he's just got a traditional kind of...
Yes, it is.
It is?
Specifically, it's... In the comics, it's called the Iron Spider suit, and he has it in Civil War. Like, the Civil War comic storyline.
Cool. Nice.
So, yes, that's why it's got those weird, cool legs as well, which I was surprised... I was quite happy that they included.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised as well. I thought that would easily get the cut, but it did kind of look strange at first, but yeah, why not?
They implemented it well enough that it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another combat scene that I actually really enjoyed as well, and there's not really much of a combat scene, but there's one specific short, brief moment was when Thanos is reaching down to hit Captain America, and Captain America just grabs his hand, and you see Thanos. He's kind of looking at him, kind of strangely, kind of confused and shocked as to why he's not able to crush Captain America. I thought that was kind of really cool.
And then just punches him with his
and
right
then just
hand.
gets his other hand out. Bang, you're gone. But I thought that was interesting that he was actually strong enough to kind of withstand that. I thought he'd just get pummeled instantly because we saw what he did to the Hulk.
Yeah.
He just wrecked him at the start of the movie, which is another whole point we can talk about. But it just goes to show what Captain America is capable of, if he really believes in his cause.
Yeah, I feel there's no, obviously, no disrespect to the film necessarily, but I feel like Thanos' strength level and his capabilities vary quite a bit throughout the film.
Depending. Like if he's fighting the Hulk, he can,
There's a bit of inconsistency there.
But I mean, when he fought the Hulk, I've viewed it once, but from my memory, when he fought the Hulk, it wasn't so much about overpowering him; it was more about dismantling him and just kind of
because
dancing
he was doing
around
it tactically,
him.
like he punched him in the side. It's because he knows what he's doing in a fight.
Yeah, he just
and then
dismantled
maybe because
him.
he underestimated everyone else, he was just like, "Oh, I can just go like that," and he didn't.
Yeah,
and he
he's taken out the strongest. But that was interesting. I wonder
feel
if
like
they locked hands with. If he locked hands with the Hulk, who would come off second best out of that?
Yeah.
So
well, the thing is, the Hulk didn't come out now after that because I think it's because he was either afraid, which seems slightly unlikely, or he was embarrassed or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with embarrassed. I think that's probably his
he
first
was
defeat.
ashamed that he lost.
Yeah, he's being a little sooky baby, isn't he?
Oh dear. But yeah, it's just like, Hulk, come out, no! I was like, oh. But
and of course, he has no idea why not, because he wasn't there.
Yeah, what would have been good that they didn't do, which might have been a good thing, is when when Banner was getting overpowered in the Hulkbuster armor, would have been for Hulk to burst out.
Yes.
But I feel at the same time, while that would have been cool, it might have been too predictable.
I don't care. Just do it. That would have looked sick.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
I just would have loved to have seen him bust out, but to still being kind of maybe wearing the chest piece or something like that. And just kind of semi-armored up. That would have been sick.
Yeah, definitely. What else would have been good? I tell you what, standout characters. Let's go for that. Thor, standout character to me.
Yeah, he's really kind of evolved, hasn't he? Yeah.
I also liked Giant Peter Dinklage, was quite funny.
Yes, I was going to say we have to talk about that, because that is just some tongue-in-cheek shit, that. Giant Peter Dinklage, a giant dwarf. A giant, but still a dwarf.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was good.
Oh, dear.
But
what that was good. I liked seeing that. I also liked just the way Thor is quite clearly underneath the smiles and whatever. He is a broken man, and they portrayed that quite well.
Yeah, I agree. He's lost everything.
Like when he was in with the Guardians, when he first got rescued by them, and he was just like, "Oh well, all of my family's dead. My sister killed them, and I had to
my planet,
kill my sister, and most of my people are dead." It was just like, oh, well.
Yeah, it really, yeah, absolutely. It's quite dark. You know what's even darker though? Here's something real dark, right? So at the end of the third Thor movie, kind of shitty. You lost your planet, all your people survived, right? But then, in my mind, an hour or a week later, they just all die. That's the real ending of Thor 2, Thor 3. They all die.
They don't all die. I think
almost.
The Russos explained that they either escaped or were allowed to escape because Thanos doesn't want to kill everyone.
He killed half.
He wants to kill half of them.
All right. Well, if
And
it couldn't get any
apparently
worse, we're having a lottery to kill half your remaining people.
Yeah. They said Valkyrie survived because
Oh
reasons.
yeah. What happened to her?
So yeah, they haven't said anything about Korg, which would be a shame if he died because I love Korg.
Oh,
yeah.
I was hoping for an appearance from him, but no. How many characters can you have, right?
Piss off, Ghost. Best bit.
Just a quick query. Are you in the comments is talking about something called the Extremis virus?
That's Iron Man 3. The thing that Killian was making. The thing that they gave Pepper.
Oh yeah, like they're making weird X-Men.
Why not? Extremis. That's Doctor Who. Right, Extremis MCU. Yeah, there's a particular arc that was part of that was based on as well, which was quite good in the comics, and there was a particular Extremis suit. Iron. Hell. Can't type apparently. Armor. Yeah, the Extremis armor is a particular type that's quite good actually. In the quite nice looking. I'll send you a link to it.
I don't recall seeing it. Have we seen it in the cinematic universe?
We've not seen it in the MCU yet, not particularly, but yeah, that was the. It's quite good.
Can we put this on screen or?
Probably.
It looks very reminiscent of the original.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, it's sort of reminiscent of that, but I think that's the one that was stored in him.
Oh right.
Maybe?
See, I like this.
No, that was the precursor to Bleeding Edge, which was stored within him.
Yeah, I see. I like these designs. Like it's a step back in kind of, I guess, like functionality and kind of maneuverability than his nanite one, but he looks like Iron Man. He looks like he's wearing armor rather than
definitely
just a bit more than spandex.
Yeah, I think that's the problem a lot of people have with Iron Man's armor in that, and I definitely agree. So yeah, I would like to see that kind of thing come in, because maybe because
absolutely.
his armor's so fucked, he has to use the Extremis armor, which is like the downgraded version of what he has.
Yeah, maybe like he just runs out of nanites.
Well, he's run out of nanites. I think either they regenerate over a certain amount of time, or like the nanites that are left can convert other things into nanites, and there seems to be a lot of metal around on Titan, where he's currently stranded with Nebula, which is quite funny.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how
because
that
they've not
out.
actually had a conversation.
No, who are you? That's
literally like Nebula showed up halfway through the fight because she wanted to kick Thanos in the teeth.
Yeah.
And her and Iron Man haven't said a single word to each other.
Yeah, it'll be where's Gamora? What's a Gamora?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so anything else that we want to say? Or shall we give our overall thoughts?
Have we? I don't know if we've missed anything massive. I think we've definitely touched on quite a few spoilers. I know we've been darting around a lot, but we've definitely covered a lot of big spoilers.
Definitely, yeah.
I guess one interesting point though is how strong is Thor now?
Pretty damn strong by the seams of it, I think.
He wrecks Thanos towards the end.
He does. I think the way they're portraying the new hammer is that it's stronger than Mjolnir.
Right.
It's the funny thing is it's called Stormbreaker, but it looks more like a cross between Mjolnir and there's an axe in the comics called Yarnborn, which is like Mjolnir but less powerful. Mm-hmm. So they just fiddled with the design. I've got no problems with it. I really like the design actually.
Yeah, I like it too.
He looks. And I like the fact that it's Groot's arm as the handle looks.
Yeah, that was really, a nice touch, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice looking bit of kit, and I think that's done a really good job. And I think that they've made Thor more powerful, and that's a good thing, because they always said that the hammer in Thor Ragnarok, they said that the hammer wasn't his power; it was a way to focus the power. and that might be why he lost the battle with Thanos.
Yeah.
Like at the start of the film, because he couldn't focus his power enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And now he's back.
Yeah, exactly.
That entrance into the final battle in Wakanda, though, wow. You're like, he just drops down and he is like, just, I am ready for business. Like, I'm pissed. Let's just clean this shit up.
It's
that
just
was
like,
sick.
I am going to wreck house now. You can all fuck off.
Something we should touch on, though, before we wrap it up with our final thoughts is what happens with the gauntlet at the end of the film, and where is Thanos? And, like, what is he doing next? Is he just planning on retiring now? Like, he's essentially
Pretty
actioned
much.
his
I think
plan.
he is planning on retiring because he's done what he wanted to do.
Yeah. Has he gone back
yeah,
in time or
like,
something, though? Or is, like, what is he doing? Like, where is he?
I don't know where he is necessarily, but I know that in the comic books, he actually, in one of the stories, he does the same thing, and he just retires to a farm somewhere.
Yeah, that's what someone was saying, and that's what it looks like, grassy fields. But
you could see in the comic panel, there's like his armor is just like used as a scarecrow behind him.
Yeah. I just thought the place would have some kind of sentimental value or significance to him.
I'm sure there is, but we don't know it.
Maybe he went back in time.
He said he grew up poor anyway, so that may well be where that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think. I don't think the gauntlet's gone anywhere. I don't think he's taken it off because you can't see his hand in it.
I was gonna say the gauntlet, but at the end of the movie,
so.
the gauntlet, like when he actions his plan, it kind of gets crushed and starts like smoking.
It does. It gets it's like singed or something, isn't it?
So like that is obviously like pushing. He's just done something, right? That's pushed the limits of the gauntlet to, its absolute extreme. He's almost destroyed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, I thought that was interesting. I don't know whether it's going to retain all of its original capabilities. Like, as long as you have the stones, maybe it's fine. You can just get a new gauntlet. I don't know, but I thought that was interesting.
I don't know. Not overly clear, is it?
No, I mean, at that point, they're trying to be
find out
vague.
in a year.
Yeah, no shit. It's going to be a long year. At least we have some...
It really is.
Nope, we haven't got Game of Thrones back by then. Nope.
Shit about Game of Thrones anyway, so...
I've got nothing, count. Everything's left me. Got Westworld.
Well, there's that. So, yeah, I think that's probably a good place to end it.
Yep, let's wrap her up. Overall thoughts,
Let's wrap it up. So, overall thoughts of the film. I really enjoyed it. There's really good character moments. Thanos was portrayed amazingly. A lot of character deaths, some of which might be permanent. I think a lot of them probably won't be. Definitely go and see it. And it ranked, what was it, number 5 on my list and number 4 on yours?
Practically equal top, right? Like if it's in number 5, yeah almost. It a hair splits it all at that point. Is it? Yeah. If you had to give it, I know we don't like doing it here, but if you absolutely had to give it
if I had to give it a score,
yeah, what would it be?
I'd give it probably an 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to sit around there. 8.5 to a 9, I think.
Yeah.
It has got some flaws, but not many. But I mean, I do think that the amount of cast in this film, it's not necessarily like a negative, but the fact that they do just have to manage so many people, it can get
too many people to focus on in some
yeah,
respect.
you don't quite feel like you're getting your big meal in any particular place. Like it. But it's still super entertaining, Who gives a fuck? Like it's. It's.
And also the post-credit scene was good because it's like, hey, Captain Marvel, and Nick Fury nearly went motherfucker.
Yeah, right. Everyone was speculating like, what are we going to get one? Yeah, no, we got one. But yeah, I agree. My overall kind of thoughts and opinions of the movie, definitely an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. Thoroughly entertaining. Met my expectations and met my hype 110%. And yeah, just a well-executed superhero flick. And, they've been doing these movies for a while. They've constantly been upping the game and they constantly surprise me. And this, a movie of this scale with so many moving parts could have easily had a lot of issues, but it doesn't. It just works. And it's a part 1. It's a fucking part 1. And it's a fantastic fucking movie. How does that work?
Yeah.
It just works. Anyway,
Just a quick one, though. Do you think you'd enjoy this movie as much if you hadn't watched most or all of the Marvel films beforehand? You need... I think...
You don't have any context.
Everything. You don't need to have seen them all. I think you need more than a passing knowledge, though, personally.
I think you need to have at least seen... I think you need to have at least seen the Avenger films prior to at least understand the characters, right?
Quite a few things out still, though.
Well, I mean, what's essential to the? I guess it's what's essential to the Thanos plot. The Guardians of the Galaxy films are, right? There's a lot of Thanos stuff that happens in the original Guardians of the Galaxy film.
Seen both the Avengers films, Guardians 1.
Don't need to see Guardians 2.
Maybe Thor Ragnarok, depending on how you want to deal with it. And...
He doesn't really have any appearances. He has a couple of very... What's his reveal movie?
Whose, sorry?
Thanos. Does he get his reveal at the end of the original Avengers movie?
First Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like...
So...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need to see, both the Avengers films, Guardians, and Thor Ragnarok. And
to understand the plot.
Maybe Civil War. Those 5.
Yeah.
And you've probably got everything you need to have all the context.
That's just to understand the context on the kind of the general plot for this film. But, you know, if you want to... There's still a lot of other shit in this movie, character-wise, you know, Yeah. I mean, you
anyway.
could get by on those, absolutely.
Anyway. So yeah, let's wrap it up then. So, good film, great film. I enjoyed it. Go and see it if you haven't. And
if you have seen it, see it again.
Exactly. So, that has been the end of this show. And if you enjoyed it, don't subscribe for more movie stuff because this is a once in a blue moon stuff. This is just, if
typically
a big
about
movies
games.
come out, we might discuss it because we did Star Wars, we did this. We might do the next Avengers, but we're not going to do every Marvel movie. Like, it's going to be few and far between, I think. So, but if you like gaming content, by all means, subscribe.
Yeah, go check out our YouTube channel as well and join us in the Discord.
Yes, because we have lots of great gaming content, got podcasts, news, some Let's Play stuff. It's all lots of interesting, varied content that you can enjoy. I have been Snowy then. That has been Sully.
Au revoir.
And yes, we shall see you soon for other content. Enjoy that. And now I'm going to press the stop stream button. So goodbye!